Hey guys, Infinity Gaming's Outlaw here with another replay. I've got some announcements to make in this game, but it is another one from MLG Providence, the most recent event that I actually personally attended. And we have a game between, oh wow, that's a really early probe, but the man sending the early probe is none other than Thundertoss, and his opponent in the top left, cross positions on Antigua Shipyards, is Infinity Gaming's Pandora. So we've got this this probe, probably going to put down a proxy. There would be no other reason to send him so early. And there he goes. It looks like he's going to set up into where Pandora may typically take his third. Looking to set something somewhere. Because he's hugging the wall, I really think he's going to choose him any moment. And there it is. So we're going to see some kind of proxy gateway. I don't know for sure. Pandora, it looks like he's going to wall off. This is something you see a lot of Terrans do, but some players don't even decide to wall off, and it kind of surprises me sometimes. Anyways, we've got a proxy gate on the way for Thundertoss. Now, what's Thundertoss doing? Is he continuing to yeah, he's continuing to produce probes past that initial mark, so that's not too bad. What is he going to do with this probe now? Simply going to scout, and the first barracks is on the way, and a first gas taken by Pandora. Now, a big announcement I wanted to make is I will be casting a tournament that will eventually lead into a show match between a member of Infinity Gaming and the wondrous, magnificent, special tactics-ridden White Ra. I'm really excited to do this. There's going to be a big tournament for both sides, EU and NA, on both servers for our clan, and I encourage all of you to check it out. I'll have some details posted in my channel later. Anyways, this game is getting heated up, as you see. Thundertoss now has finished his gateway and is chrono boosting out his first zealot, while he has a gas of his own now taken. So he may plan to do something else afterwards. Pandora now going to scout out with this SCV, but he's not going to realize. I wonder once he gets to the base he's realizing that there's a proxy gateway, but there won't matter. That first zealot is already out. That's an incredibly late scout from Pandora. But here comes the zealot. However, that wall-off has just been completed, so that zealot will be worthless. The first marine is going to come out and probably deal with that zealot, no problem. Pandora going to put down a bunker, realizes that's really early. Second gas has now finished. Does Thundertoss see that? He does know that that second gas is finished. And now a cybernetics core is finished, so Pandora realizes there is a proxy gateway out there. And nothing really being produced. The problem with this proxy is now it's kind of worthless. You can't really produce units from it right away. Interesting that he would choose that sort of tactic. Now what will Thundertoss do? He's a little bit ahead in right now, but that's because Pandora seems to be going for a 1-1-1. He's got both refineries taken and maximized with their workers, and now a factory is on the way. So we see a factory for Pandora. Meanwhile, Thundertoss is starting to get his, using his Chrono Boost on his Warp Tech. That's always so necessary for a Protoss player, for those of you who are relatively new in the game. Pandora checking to see for any expansions now. Thundertoss starting to spread some units out. Look at this, he's got he's got 3 units in here now. He's got a Stalker, he's got 2 Zealots, but they will not last, as this is just going to defend. Thundertoss should know now that a 1-1-1 is on its way. He needs to come up with some way to maybe fast expand and put down some extra gates. 5 gates is usually the magic number, or so I hear, for players who are trying to defend the 1-1-1. And sure enough, there's the expand. Incredibly late expansion for Thundertoss. I don't know what he was thinking. He's going to be really behind now because Pandora has the Mighty Mules to get him some extra economy, and a 1-1-1 is very powerful indeed. You see a tech lab has gone down on the factory. Starport as well, and there's also an armory that's being built, so we are going to see Thors. But he did lift off with the tech lab, so I'm not 100% certain. Another barracks coming down, and another tech lab. So now we're going to see tech labs on both the starport and the factory. Meanwhile, you see a robotics facility and a gateway. So Thundertoss is going to just try and get a good composition of gateway and robotics units. He's probably getting that robo for some sort of scouting, but I don't know how much good that will do you as the units are now being produced. Pandora getting a little supply blocked. Cannot produce this first Thor, but he sure as heck can create a Raven. Raven's going to be great to do a PDD on those, to defend those Thors. And look at this, Pandora's still just defending. Nothing's being produced by Thundertoss right now. His macro has been rather abysmal because he went for some kind of early harass and it failed miserably. Now that his warp gate has his warp, oh man, it's one of those days. His warp tech has finished, but he still doesn't have that many gates open. His expansion has just now finished, so his economy will be a little bit better than Pandora's. However, Pandora is starting to get the first Thor out. He's probably going to push out with a decent number, but this is a pretty crazy all-in that we're seeing right now. And now we see that another observer is on the way. This first observer is probably going to get there in time and see exactly the unit composition, but it may be too little, too late. As Pandora's now getting his second Thor out on the field. That Raven will probably lead to the death of this observer if he does manage to go right over him. Is Pandora going to notice it? Sure enough, that observer so close to death. Good job by Thundertoss to keep his eye on that observer, because you don't want your opponent to scout you too easily. Now that Thundertoss has actually cut probes, he's just completely stopped probe production in general. Now getting out the Immortals, realizing he needs units out and he needs them fast. Now the third Thor is on the way, so that's it's getting to be danger time. I think Pandora's got to push out at about the 11 or 12 minute mark with a really good Thor timing. Thor rushing, not as popular as you would expect, but Thundertoss just not getting out the robo units that he needs. He needs to get out more Immortals. They are probably the only chance that he has. He's gonna need some Zealots and some Sentries as well, because you know, you've got Banshees, you've got the Raven, which is probably going to be early on one of the more devastating units out there. And there are the SCVs. They are being pulled, repairing their comrade for a moment there, and now the push is coming. Oh boy, there are some units here for Thundertoss, but he's got a lot of Zealots and Sentries. That's very smart, but his Immortal, he's got two Immortals, and they're kind of laying back. Now Pandora scans to see exactly what his opponent is doing, and I'm going to get rid of that because we're about to see the actual point of conflict here. You've got your Thors marching down the field. Some people consider it to be the most powerful unit in the game. Pandora definitely loves his Thors, but here he goes, he's pushing down. He's just about to engage. We are moments away for probably the single most important battle between these two players. This is early in the rounds of MLG, so who is going to win this fight? You see the Zealots moving in, but they're basically running into the SCVs. Meanwhile, the Thor's doing so much damage on those Zealots. Two Immortals trying to flank. One goes down, but there's the missile turrets and the PDD. Banshees are going to take care of that. Now the Banshees just get free roam. Another Thor not even getting repaired right away. They're repairing that turret instead. Now chrono boosting on all of his warp gates, or so I hear, getting more units down. He's pulled probes to deal with this, but that Thor is now being repaired. Going to eradicate that Immortal. Careful not to lose that Raven, but now there are 4 Banshees out. Complete production to stop from both players, except for some warp hits from Thundertoss, but the Marines are the ones doing the most of the damage right now. They can pick off single units so well. And now Pandora looks like he is going to eradicate everything that's left of Thundertoss's base. And there goes everything. I mean, there goes the neighborhood. This Raven, oh no, pulling all the probes to kill those SCVs. I think he just A-clicked and they all surrounded, but looks like Pandora is going to win this game, as there is no way for Thundertoss to win. It's going to be a GG at any second. pulling all his probes, keeping himself alive, and there it is, GG. So congratulations to Pandora winning that game. It's a very powerful all-in. And Thundertoss, by no means an inexperienced player, but that is not the best way to respond to this, but very good by Pandora. That's going to be a very hard 1-1-1 to combat. Other than that, I don't have much to say on that. Pandora, congratulations. He's a great member of Infinity Gaming, and hopefully he moves up in the world. I wish him the best. Once again, I am Infinity Gaming's Outlaw. I just casted a pretty good game, and I will see you guys tomorrow.